Hello students, welcome to Edubbey Global Solution. Under our mathematics class, we have another topic that we're going to be looking at, which is straight line graphs. And we have our interactive content here that will serve as a guide for this class. Okay, now under that we have coordinates. To fix a point in two dimensions, which is 2D, its position is given in relation to the origin, through which axes are drawn perpendicular to each other. The horizontal axis, which is x axis, and the vertical axis, which is y axis, are drawn from the point that is being called what? Origin. Okay, the number on both axes are numbered from the bottom to the top and can be extended below and above the origin. So the origin is always starting with 0. So when you're talking about coordinates, we are trying to talk about a two-dimensional line, which is both horizontal line and vertical line, and we basically call those lines y-axis and x-axis. And the point at which they start on our graph is what? It is the origin. This origin is starting, we call it 0. So we can have our number labeled from the top here to the bottom on the positive axis. This is the positive axis for y-axis, and this is the negative axis for y-axis. And as well, we have the x-axis. We have the positive axis of x-axis, and we have the negative axis for x-axis. Okay, now let's look at an activity here. If you look at this here, we have a point D, we have a point C, we have a point B. Now we have y-axis and we have x-axis. For us to read through, we have to locate the point C, point B, and point D from this given graph. So let's try and locate the points here, and let's see what are the points. We are just going to be identifying them. We picked up. Now, if you look at this point, point B on x-axis is on 3, y on y-axis is on what? On -3. So that is the point for B. So we have x to the 3, y to the what? -3. Now for point C is -4 on what? On the x-axis. And it's what? It's -3 on what? On the y-axis, right? So we have it to be -3 on y-axis and -4 on the x-axis. Now let's look at point D. It's on -4 on the x-axis, and we have it to be 3 on the what? On the y-axis. So with this, we are going to be typing in the right answers to each boxes that we have there. Okay, so point B is going to be what? Point B is 3 in x-axis and -3 on the y-axis. So we have that. So point C is what? Point C, the x-axis is -4. The y-axis is what? -3. So we have -4 -3. Now for point D, the x-axis is -4. Why the y-axis is what? The y-axis is 3. Okay, so we have that here. Now let's have the answer. Okay, so let's check that our answer is right. Now let's look at this. We want to study this reading skill, and we are going to be dragging the right answer to these boxes. So for each boxes here, we have it to be we read it to be what? This is 10. Let's count those tiny boxes. We see that it's 10. The other one after one, before you get to 2 is 10. So each unit is 0.1. Each unit is 0.1. So if you look at, by the time you count and you get to at this point, we have it to be 7, right? So we have that to be what? 0.7. So if you count from for B, now we want to get the point B. We have 1, right? So we have 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, we have 1.5. So B, the point for B is reading 1.5. Now let's look for C. We have 2, so we have 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, 2.4. Okay, 2.5. So we are reading 2.5 as well for C. Okay. Now for D, let's read what we have. We have 4.1, 4.2, 4.3, 4.4, 4.5, 4.6, 4.7, 4.8. So we have 4.8 for D, and those are the points for that scale. Now let's look at gradient of a straight line. Look at this graph here. You see that it has 3 straight lines. It is a line, this is another line with blue color, a line with pink color, and another one with what? With green color. So the line has some properties in common. That is, they are straight lines, but they always have different slope. Because why? They have different equations. So the scope of that line is called gradient. The gradient of a straight line is constant and are calculated by considering the coordinates of any 2 points on the line. That is, we are to calculate our gradient by considering the y-axis point and the x-axis point on any given graph. Okay, now let's look at the gradient formula that we have here. If you want to calculate gradient, the formula is what? The vertical distance between 2 points, that is the coordinate points, divided by the horizontal distance between that 2 points. Now, which is denoted as what? Y2 minus y1 divided by s2 minus x1. Now, let's look at an activity here based on the formula that we have actually mentioned, which is what? Gradient of a line calculated as what? Y2 minus y1 divided by s2 minus s1. Let's look at this graph. We have the given graph here. Look at this, a point. Under this point, our x is minus 4, y is minus 3, and for the second point that we have here, x is 8 and y is minus 3. Okay, so we are going to be breaking out our gradient formula here, and we are going to be solving for the formula. So let's look at it. Okay, we have our gradient here to be what? The gradient formula is y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Now from here, look at the very points here, the very first points here that we have. Okay, our x2 and y2 is what? We are bringing x2 y2 to be 8 minus 3, and x1 y1 is we have minus 4 and 3. So with this here we have y2 minus y1. What is y2 now? Y2 is minus 3. What is y1? What is y1 from what we have here? Y1 is 3. So we have minus 3 or divided by, what is s2? S2 is 8, okay? And what is x1? X1 is what? Minus 4. So remember, we have minus 4. Now, minus 3 minus 3. What is minus 3 minus 3? That is minus 6, right? Okay. 8 minus minus 4. Minus minus will give us plus. So we have 8 plus 4. 8 plus 4 will give us 12, right? So we have this to be what? How many times can 6 goes in 12? 6 can go in 12. How many times? That is 1 time. So we have minus 1 over 2. And that is the answer. 6 can go in 12 2 times. So let's drag the right answer to each boxes from these given illustration that we have here. Okay, so here now we have said that y1 and x1. Okay, so what is y? What is missing here? What is missing here? We have what? Minus 4. Minus, based on what we have inside that point. And for s2, we have s2 y2 to be 8 and what? 8 and minus 3. Now based on that formula, minus 3 divided by 8 minus 4, which is what? Minus 6 divided by 12. 6 can go in 6, 1. 6 can go in 12, 2. So we have minus 1 over 2 as our answer. Okay, let's check. That's who we are right now. Let's look at our gradient line. For us to, we have calculated gradient to be what? The formula is y2 minus y1 over s2 minus x1. So to check if the gradient is correct, these are the little following guide that we have here. So a line, look at this line. A line sloping this way, we have a positive gradient. So whenever we have a structure or a line like this, a straight line like this on our graph, then we should know that the gradient that we are going to be getting, the answer for the gradient is going to be a positive gradient. Now, if we look at the other line, look at this, is going on the slant on the right hand side here. So if you look at this one, this is going to give us a negative type of gradient. Now let's look at the past question that we have here. The past question, look at this, we have a graph here. We have to calculate the gradient line from this graph. Now from here, what is the formula for calculating gradient? We have made mention of it that gradient of a line is calculated by, we have y2, okay, minus y1 divided by s2 minus x1. Now before we look at this point, we only have a point here sorry, the line is not straight. This is a point we have here. And here, look at this here. X is 4 and y is 10. Okay. Now let's look at the second one that we have here. Okay, we have point here. Let's try and see what if we draw a tangent to reach this point here, so that we can have another value which is going to be, our x is going to be 0 here, and y is going to be what? -2 on this point, to have 0, -2, because if you look at it, it's first y is -2 and we don't have anywhere. This is the origin point for x axis. So we can now put it inside this formula here and have it to be 10. Okay, 10 minus 2, right? That's why y1 is -2, and we have 4 minus 0. Minus will give us plus. We have 10 plus 2 divided by 4, which is what? We have 12 divided by 4. What is 12 divided by 4? 4 can go into ever many times, 3 times. And this takes us to the end of this class. I want you to subscribe to our channel www.edubbey.com for the full interactive content of this class.